After knocking out that bit of feedback, we shall recap last session. Oh wow, actually looking at it now, I believe my recap didn't save.
Oh dear.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yes, I don't know where it went. Interesting. Very interesting. As far as things that happened, though, I think we can skip over some more of the grittier details from last session. After the group had um, dealt with the giant black adder and harvested portions of the body carcass that they felt the most prudent, you guys maneuvered your way back towards the city, eventually getting somewhere off the beaten track, and Nori summoning some. Is it giant eagles or owls this time?
Owls.
Some giant owls. You guys careened through the sky and made your way back to the town. Getting over the top of it and starting to come down at an incline, colliding with the magical barrier that covers the majority of the town. I believe only Kaporin, his eagle, was able to grab hold of him, while the rest started plummeting towards the ground. After some quick bits of resummonings and summoning of different spells, you all took some damage through the different impacts, but made it to the ground relatively safely. Once you guys got to the ground, Skipper Jonathan Ladash, as well as a few crewmates, reconvened with you, sort of hostilely at first until they saw that it was you and lowered their guard, sending one of the crewmate back to quell any uprise that might be happening to the town as they got alerted to something conflicting with their magical aura. After this, you guys were told that there is a departing feast that's going to be happening that night, for the ship is to leave midday the next day. With this, you all were privy to all of the town coming out for this feast. Nori, you ended up trying to repay well, a few of you in different rights ended up having certain conversations, coming to the realization that the giant black adder was a defensive mechanism for the town. In different ways for people to help try and repay, as well as just assist in ways that they can. Nori ended up offering her services to increase crop yield in the fruit farms off to the western side of the town, in which she was accompanied by a younger gentleman who was excited for this, but was in a very much of a hurry to get back to the festivities as soon as possible. Which, when Nori did finish her spellcasting, luckily the party was still going, and she was escorted back. As for those at the party, some had more interesting times than others, but everyone danced, everyone partied their butts off. Kaporin, maybe a little bit too much, with matchmaker Rachar kind of setting him up in ways he wasn't trying or expecting to. Kaporin, by the time Nori got back, Kaporin was disappeared with his Goliath female friend. And Nori was forced to also take part in the festivities. But all in all, you guys had a decently fun night. Bryn and Kaporin having a little bit more fun than the rest. But the morning came a little bit later than most mornings do. Everyone, in their own time and rights and ways, got back to each other. The ship, and with everything and everyone on board, crew, group, you guys set off. You finished the last delivery that was needed upon the route that Skipper Ladash had aforementioned. And then you guys made your way back towards the mainland of the Stormdance Clan's lands. As you guys were moving, you came across an island that was not charted, according to Skipper Ladash. You guys decided to move past it without taking any risks and continued on. As you guys were nearing the end and getting close to almost being able to see the mainland, this island once again appeared, maneuvering its way through the fog, piquing interests of some, and after some quick conversations between party members, you guys decided that this may be a sign or situation. And Nori, leading the main charge of I need to do this, with the group behind her, the skipper moored the boat not too far off from the island, saying that he'll give you all an hour to either come out of the cave that you guys had seen onto the beach, or by magical means send some sort of sign or message that you all are safe and continuing on. If after an hour nothing is seen, then they are going to be taking off. You guys got into the little rowboats, rowed your way up to shore, and that's where we resume our session today. You guys have pulled the rowboats up onto the sand so it will not go away with any sort of tide. You guys know of a cave opening in the rock and have slowly started to make your way towards said opening.
Kaporin would be in front, guiding them to the cave with Belladonna as his sitting on his shoulder as they kind of move forward.
And I think once we get to the cave, I think Nori's gonna try to take the lead because, I've been in caves and I lived in the mountains. I've been in places like this. I know how it works.
Right on, everyone. This way. I think Belladonna said the cave and waits for her to point that way. And we continue upward the hill.
Alright, you guys move further inland. You get off the sand, going into the grass and some of the small bushes and trees that are around here, with Belladonna kind of giving you direction into where you go. You see a large cluster of bushes and trees, but in between some small of the gaps, you see darkness beyond.
Darkness is in the cave mouth, or darkness is in like the.
Well, you can go up and try and find out. It is the point in which Belladonna is pointing you all.
Alrighty, I guess I'll go up and check it out.
Or Chaz 5 feet behind you.
Kaporin's beginning to cast light on his dagger.
Saren will speak up and say, before we proceed much further, do any of you have a magical means to tell them not to leave in an hour?
Well, my plan was go down 30 minutes. If we don't find anything, then we head back up. 30-minute walk back. And we're back up in time, because I don't have a way to signal to them otherwise.
Could Belladonna go to them?
I could send her, but once she gets out of range of me, I won't be able to tell if she's made it or not. But I could certainly have her do that.
I mean, if anything, she's at least a symbol of either it's all fine or we're dead, I suppose.
If anything, I will give her a note if we request assistance or if we're fine to just hold out. When at least 30 minutes has gone by, so that she has time to travel. I'm assuming this conversation while we're talking and walking. Do we see the cave?
Yes, moving aside the brush and trees that block this cave mouth, you do see an opening inside. The only light coming from within is the light from outside, cascading into this open cave mouth. It is very much so a natural cave. It doesn't seem to be any tool marks across the walls or anything like that to show that it was unnaturally created. You see stalagmites and stalactites in the entrance as well, but nothing seemingly out of the ordinary from your view outside.
I think Nori's gonna take out a sheet of paper just so she can have something to mark down where they've gone. And then head over to the cave.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like at this point we're all behind her. We're all behind you, Nori. So if you first.
So don't die.
Does Kapoor notice the torch that Belladonna saw as she was leaving the cave?
And that's further in.
Got it.
Well, we're heading in.
You know it's serious when the map changes.
Alright, so go ahead and place you guys as little tokens. Bryn's so far back she's in the water.
Technology doesn't like me.
Is that anything new?
I don't think you had to rub it in there, Val.
Yes.
Thanks for that.
So this is the opening right here.
Would it be that small where it has to be?
Yes, it's one person
single
at a
file.
time.
Okay.
Potty train.
Congo line. Remember, guys, this entire island was only about 100 feet by 100 feet. So, as far as with Nori taking down the directions as you guys move in, there's not a whole lot. This place shouldn't be that large.
It's a better safe than sorry sort of thing because underground's a lot bigger. That can be a lot bigger than what you see up on the surface.
Sure. So, you guys move in. As you move in, you see there is a few little cave openings and whatnot, but all in all, there's a bunch of dried brush, dead leaves that have blown in, seemingly. And you do end up seeing the one torch that is rested in between some of the stalagmites that rise up from the ground.
At this point, I don't think everyone can, so I'm going to find something, probably whatever Brent's holding, and cast light on it.
Kapoor has light on his quarterstaff as well.
I can do produce flame and just have a flame in my hand.
Or aren't you just fiery?
It's safer than fire, I suppose.
It won't burn anything unless I want it to.
But moving in here, you see a okay-sized little cavern in front of you. a little bit of water dripping in from outside. There seems to be a bunch of dried shrubbery off in corners, long dead leaves and tree bits that have been either pushed in here or have just through different winds or whatever goes on this island specifically has pushed much debris around the floor and up against the walls in here. Looks like someone hasn't done gardening in a long time. You see over here behind some more of the larger piled up stuff, another very small opening leading into what looks to be another decently smaller sized little room, but this one everyone would need to squeeze through, and even then some of you might not make it.
Kaporin's gonna approach the small cavern.
Yeah, because all of you, except for Rachan, all of you are over 6 feet tall.
So Kaporin's gonna poke his head down, but it's just like, you're not gonna force me through there.
I'll go through.
Okay. Make a acrobatics check for me.
Ooh, fun.
Belladonna's gonna go with you. She's gonna hold your hand.
She probably needs both hands to try and squeeze herself through this.
Realized I didn't activate the extension.
In between all the others, if I like look straight through it, can I see through to the other side?
Yeah, you can see into the other room.
I'll Misty step in there.
Okay. You probably would need to wait for Nori to get through first, since she's currently in the middle of getting through.
Yeah, as soon as the sight line is clear.
Alright, Nori, so you're able to squeeze and not hurt yourself and get into this small room, which has more shrubbery, dead and long, starting to decay, off into two different corners, but it's a very small room, and just as you kind of get comfortable and take a breath, and you're like, ah, okay, done with the squeezing. Pop! Behind you, Saren has magically pushed himself into the room behind you.
Ah!
So you guys are now kind of doing that whole, like, dance of, well, oh, don't really fit in here, shoving two people into a changing room style.
Can take a look at the dead plants. I guess we haven't actually had any encounters with the bramble, have we?
Nope.
Except for the stuff that attacked Nori, I guess. Or attached to Nori, I guess.
Yeah.
Rachel would still end up being reckless and he'd poke the bushes anyways.
Make an investigation check for me. Poking the dead shrubbery that lies within here, you kind of move some of it to the side, and just a bunch of dead leaves and such.
I think I'm gonna cast. Do I think locate object would help me? Because the language is alternatively the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind. Could I focus on kind of the gem of my necklace? Because from what I've seen, it's the kind of weird purpley gem that it would be able to locate.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can put the vibe out to possibly find an object of a similar kind.
Yeah, sure, it's 1,000 feet.
While Nori is casting that, Saren's probably gonna try and poke around the small room that we found ourselves in.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check. Nori, casting the spell and kind of putting your essence out to try and retrieve any such thing. The only thing you get is a very small ping coming from Racha. But other than that, you don't feel anything.
Alright, so I guess I dismiss the spell, kind of sigh, and then go to squeeze outside the cave.
Okay, give me another acrobatic check.
What's great about being a druid is that if I really fuck it up, I can just turn into something small.
Yep.
I fucked it up.
Yeah, you get about halfway through, and then you kind of just get wedged in. And kind of just looking at everybody on the other side. Front half of Nori out, back half of Nori still in.
I'm going to turn into a mouse and just scuttle out.
With that, you scuttle out effectively. Saren kind of looking around in here, you kind of sift through the bushes of stuff and don't see anything.
Kaporan, kind of just being bored, is like, well, this cave is dull. He's just gonna go towards the behind Bryn and just kind of kick around the bush or like the shrubbery.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Racha will pick up Nori's mouse form and put her on his head, and so she could do a ratatouille if she'd like.
Cute.
Kaporan, you kind of toss around some of the bushes and don't find anything. It's just a bunch of dead leaves that are all like piled up and wind swept up against the wall, but just a bunch of leaves.
Can I kind of smell the air? Because as a mouse, I get advantage on perception checks using smell. Just kind of, because we've been out in the fresh air, and usually caves are a lot, less fresh air. So if there's anything deeper, I'd probably be able to smell it, wouldn't I?
Do a perception check.
While that's happening, Saren's not going to try and use too many of his spell slots, so he's going to try and crawl through into the main.
How tall are you?
6'1" or 6'2", so way too tall.
You do it, but you do it with disadvantage. Nori, as you sniff about the air, trying to get any sense of anything, you just smell seawater, obviously, damp wetness, wet wood, decaying leaves. That's about it. A slight hint of like maybe metal, but it's coming from all around you as this cave has some sort of iron deposit in it.
I think mentally to Racha, I just go, I don't think anything's here.
Saren, you do get yourself out of the small cavern.
What a thing to use my good rolls on.
Hey, you saved a spell.
We still see the torch and stuff. Is there anything special about it, or is it just a torch?
It's a long, ancient style of torch, not even used, probably roughly gauging it. Actually, Saren, go ahead and give me a history check.
I'm good at those.
Where's the location of the torch?
There you go, one torch.
Thank you.
Got a 19.
All right. Kind of looking at this style of torch and how it's used, obviously long since last time it was used, you get a sense that this torch is probably about 180, 200 years old.
I'll probably go up to the torch and uh, rub the I don't know, rub the charcoal, something you see in a movie, and be like, it's definitely been a while, probably a few hundred years since anyone's stepped foot in this cave.
Well, it might be old, but it doesn't mean that this cave hasn't been used. We all are seeing it in here from magic.
Kaporn's gonna investigate like the floor and the ground. Is there any like wear of like a path has been kind of traveled often?
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Sort of looking over Saren's shoulder at the torch, I'll just go, do I poke it?
Saren will just raise an eyebrow at him.
He'll just point towards the torch.
If you really want, sure.
Rachel will gently poke the torch and see if he can remove it from the wall.
Okay. You reach out to poke, it doesn't move, and then you go to grab the torch. As it does so, it just crumples in your hands. The long decaying wood just barely held aloft by its slight adhesion to the stonework itself. All that you're left with in your hand is the topped, once oil-soaked rag that is used as the top of the torch, and even then it has started to long decay and is now like sludge in your hand.
It's honestly impressive that it's lasted this long.
I got an 18.
Yeah, with I mean, the wind cuts through, and whatever water does drain out of this that has created this cavern still continues to go at some point here and there. It is not so much dirt or sand that is the main majority of the floor down here, but hard stone, so it doesn't really leave any footprints or trafficking signs. With all that regardless, you don't seem to see any sort of trail or worn path besides the one that whatever created this cavern is still creating.
With my 22 perception, would I have been able to smell, like, has there been any one here within the last little bit besides us?
What I gave you in the description of what you smelt is all that you smelt.
Perfect.
Is Nori still in her? Nori, are you still in your mouse form?
Yeah, I'm sitting on Racha's head.
That explains where Rachel went. Kaporn's gonna, or I call out to Nori. Nori, I don't see much in here. Could you check the shrubs? I don't know if there might be something around here.
Mentally, I can go, well, I didn't sense anything with the spell I cast, but I guess we can try poking around some more. So I'll jump off Racha's head and then use my smallness as a mouse to search through the leaves.
Okay. There's a bunch of leaves. So where specifically are you going? The one right next to you?
I will make hissing noises and just be like, careful.
I will. And I'll kind of sift through the leaves. I realized I was talking without pressing the button.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
Average.
Again, kind of getting through the leaves. There's a lot of leaves here, so as a mouse, it takes you a while to get through just some of the leaves, and you don't come across anything.
Guess I'll skitter out and just go, I don't know if anything's here.
Yes, yes. Perhaps it's best we take our leave before our hour's up. There doesn't appear to be anything in here.
It's only been about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We've got lots of time.
If you all wouldn't mind stepping out of the cave for a moment, I have an idea.
All the way out, back towards the beach, or just in the entrance?
To the mouth of the cave, if anything. I don't want to burn any of you.
What are you planning?
Saren will just shrug and begin walking.
Well, there must be a reason why this cave is here. And there's a torch in here, so there must be something in here. But it's just too messy in here. So I was going to create a bonfire to just clean up these leaves a little.
Nora just kind of squints at you as a mouse. Just goes, I mean, you know what? You do you. You've been sick for so many days. I'm gonna let you set something on fire for once. And then I'm gonna go scramble onto top of Rocha's head again.
Racha is just sort of like face palm, and then walk over and just like pick up a bunch of leaves and go clean up the leaves a little, and walk out with the leaves.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but that could take forever, Racha.
There, you took some leaves with you.
And then I'll go back in and pick up more. Sorry.
Just be safe.
I'm just gonna daisy chain myself picking up leaves to clean up the leaves. It's like just shaking his head like, why? Why would we need to burn this down?
Regardless.
Also, you guys wouldn't have heard Nori say any of that because that's her mental thing.
Yep. So, Kaporin, at this moment in time, everyone else is left.
Alright, I'm gonna
Besides
stand towards
Belladonna.
where the torch was. Okay, just because I don't want Belladonna just burning because of my stupid recklessness, I'm gonna poof her, so she's gone for the time being.
Into the ocean.
Kind of center myself here and work my way from right to left. First casting bonfire on my right hand side.
Okay.
Here first.
Alright. So you cast Bonfire, and a lot of this stuff is moist from the ocean water, obviously. So you've only able to get a little bit of it.
Oh, it's wet wood? It's like wet stuff? Ugh.
I say we just go. We checked. If you guys wanted to search stuff, you're more than welcome to, but
Kaporin's not done cleaning! Again!
I love Rachaw's little guy just collecting leaves so slowly.
This is cooperation between player and DM.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you caught on to what I was doing.
So
You know
you're
what?
casting Bonfire
Rachaw's
again?
doing this. Nori's gonna be helpful. Unwild shape and go start doing leaves. 'Cause why not?
Next patch.
This is
As
so
you-
silly.
As you burn away that patch, you see because they've kind of crawled up along the walls, a small little cavern, bigger, at least pathwise, than the one you guys have already been to, but a small path opens up behind the burnt leaves as the smoke dies down. By the way, you take... Smoke inhalation is one hell of a thing.
And also the reason why Kaporan told everyone else to get out, so he suffers for his own.
You take 12 points of damage.
Wow.
Especially when you burn wet stuff, it really smokes.
So at this point, Kaporan comes out of the cave coughing up a storm, and it's like, well, I did my thing, and I found something. If, just give it a second to wave his hand in front of his face. Air out a second.
Rachad's gonna keep a leaf, just to put it in like a feather in his ear, because he's seen people do that. But it's a leaf because he's already got feathers.
Understandable.
After whatever point looks like it's safe to go into the cave without inhaling a bunch of smoke, Saren will head in.
Yeah.
So as you kind of go down the new little cavern that was made, again, more leaves and such are in your way. Not completely blocking your sight lines. At least the first one isn't. The second one does. You're not sure if it's an actual wall this time or a debris wall like the last ones, but there is this little pathway that you guys have been going.
It just kind of, since we've seen that the leaves are blocking various entrances, just pulling down leaves. But keeping an ear open just in case.
Okay, so who's first?
I guess it's me.
Rachad will put a hand on her shoulder and walk forward in front of her.
Okay. Richard, go ahead and give me a dex saving throw.
Oh, I was just about to say I'm gonna be checking for traps.
Ouch.
Oh no.
So, not a trap specifically, but through the waist-high leaves that are in front of you, trying to get to that higher leaf wall that's in front, your shin and knee ends up connecting with something hard underneath all the leaves. You end up taking 2 points of bludgeoning damage from the impact.
Oh, so he just like bangs his shin on a rock?
Yep.
Ow.
Or something underneath all the leaves.
I'll just sort of quietly shout, "Piss off, human," and then rub my shin and then pull the leaves away.
As you find the object in which you collided with, you start to move the leaves away, and a small chest appears underneath the leaves. Old in make, but with the amount of iron that seems to be faceted to this thing, it's still well kept shut.
Can I try to open it with Mage Hand?
It is locked.
Can I poke it?
Saren will. Would I be able to tell that they found something?
You're kind of far back. No one said anything.
We
Yeah, I
found
will
something.
tell.
Now you know.
We'll pass it on.
It's a little chest.
It's about 3 feet wide, and
It's a normal sized chest.
It was underneath like a good 3 feet high of leaves and crap.
Are you able to get it open?
It's locked.
Can I sort of check it out to see if I can potentially open it, but first see if it's trapped?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
While he's doing that, Saren will say, bring it out here for a moment if you can, and he'll start trying to back up to give everyone room. I don't know.
For as much as you can see, Richaw, it doesn't look to be trapped, but it does have a nice, hefty double bolt lock on the front.
Does it appear pickable, or is it more like just a smooth thing?
No, they're two like deadbolt locks, so it's pickable. But trying to lift the chest would require an athletics check.
Yeah, Shaw would just see if he could try and get it open.
Can I help?
I don't know. I'm gonna be using thieves' tools.
Then go for it.
You're just over my shoulder cheering me on as I'm focusing on my lockpicks.
Pretty much.
What do I roll for that? Just a sleight of hand?
Correct.
I'm proficient in it, but I'm not proficient in sleight of hand. Oh, yeah, I am. Never mind.
$11. That does not open it. You fiddle around with the thieves' tools into both of the bolts, and they're both just as tough to try and pick.
Why don't we carry the chest out a little ways and then have Saren take a look at it, because he seems to have something.
He will do his best to like shove it behind him, and then while they're fiddling around with it, he's gonna sort of start or continue sort of moving forward towards the other way, but cautiously.
After moving the leaves, the cavern continues on, getting slightly tight towards the ends. Sort of like the cavern you dealt with in the entrance earlier that Nori was able to squeeze, and so was Saren, to get through. But you do see much more debris and such on the other side, and the inklings of another room of some sort.
I imagine Bryn comes and drags the chest back to the area over there, and then I would like to stealth and inspect for chests before squeezing through.
Alright, well, if Bryn is the one going in, she still needs to make an athletics check.
I was just waiting for someone to be like, "Hey, Bryn, use your muscles," but it's fine. I'll be.
Yeah, I was about to do that.
I don't feel strong today. I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
She doesn't have her land legs yet. And the chest remains in its position.
If they can't,
Sorry, continue.
if they can't seem to get it out, Saren will just go into the cave where it's at, and he's going to take a second to kind of just investigate it. And after a few seconds, he'll stand up and, oh so glad am I that I chose this spell, cast Knock on it.
So hoping you had that spell.
Okay. It has 2 locks, though.
Well, I get one of them. Do I
Alright.
have the second level spells? I do. I'm gonna look. Sarah's gonna look kind of frustrated, and if no one else is gonna do anything in that time, he'll take like 15 seconds to think it over and cast knock a second time.
Okay. And with that, the second lock pops open, and the chest is yours.
Kaporin just kind of creeps up behind Saren and is like, "What you doing?"
Racha will cover his ears from the loud ass audible
Oh,
from
yeah.
300 feet away
There are-
chatter.
there are
Yeah.
very loud noises, knocks going on.
Be like, what the hell?
Yes, especially in this cavern of the echoing nature, the knock rings constantly for a while.
All covering our ears.
That totally changes Kaporin's. He walks up behind Saren and is like, "What the hell are you doing?"
And then the second knock comes.
What? Knock! Boom!
If Saren can even hear Kaporin say that, he'll turn around and, since we're probably basically deafened, kind of like
Like you're at a club.
put a hand on his shoulder and like motion for him to back up.
You're lucky Kaporin doesn't know Shillelagh.
Why do you want to hit him? He hasn't done anything. He just opened our lock.
Because there was no warning.
You don't need to hit him for that.
Kaporin's just irritated that his ears are ringing.
What are you trying to do next?
If Racha's still way over there, Saren's gonna. I assume don't know that he like looked the chest over since I had to be told that it was found in the first place. So I'm going to recheck it to see if it's like trapped in it or if it looks trapped in any way.
Give me a perception check.
I'd be probably at this point, seeing that he's doing whatever he's doing behind me, I'd start squeezing through.
Give me acrobatics. Looking at the chest, besides the change in the 2 locks now being opened, it doesn't seem to be trapped at all. Richard, you are able to squeeze your way through the tight opening.
Does it seem any different? Anything stand out to me?
There's an extra entrance out to the back of the island to your north. Other than that, just more debris around. Not as many stalagmites or stalactites in this little area, but some more of the same. None of the leaves and debris here seem to be as gathered up as the ones that you've dealt with. This is more just like, at max, a few inches high off the ground.
Does it seem more like trodden, like things have walked through here more?
No, this seems pretty much the same as the other cave.
Still hard.
Kaporin is knowing that we found a chest underneath these leaves now. First offers to help Saren pull it out, and then second would want to search the rest of the leaves just in case we might have missed something. Have Belladonna help with the search if necessary.
While they're doing that, Saren's gonna like he's not gonna. I'm not gonna be looking for anything specific. I'm kind of doing it for dramatics of the group at this point, so that they step back. I'm gonna investigate the chest and like maybe uh, poke the locks or something, and then I'm gonna step back and I'll cast Mage Hand and see if it's strong enough to lift the lid of the chest.
What's the weight limit on Mage Hand?
I think it's only like 5 pounds. Let me look at it. It might be 10. 30 feet.
10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Unfortunately, it is strong enough to take the locks off the chest, but not enough to open the chest itself.
Rachel will just be cleaning up like he did on the other side, throwing the leaves out out the entrance.
Saren, do you need some help with the chest?
No, it'll just be a moment, and then he'll walk forward,
Just move
like
the guy around Rachel.
get ready to open it. He'll like take a deep breath to build the tension, and then just open the chest.
Okay. So you got to open the chest. It is a heavy-assed chest lid to open, but you lift it up and slam it open as it kind of stays open there. But go ahead and give me an investigation check if you're looking inside.
Oh, this sounds important. Ported. What's my what did I roll earlier? I think it was 19. Yeah, 19. With it's an investigation, so 26 total.
Okay, 26. So there looks like there's a bunch of items in here. And the first thing that happens is I need you to make a con save.
I do it, but I wanted the loot. I'm greedy. Just plain con. Nope.
You go to lift the first item, and as you do, this green, noxious smoke pours out from underneath it and envelops you. Nori, the only one currently having eyes on, sees this smoke come out from in front of Saren, envelop him to the point where you can't see Saren anymore, and then looks like he gets sucked into Saren as Saren just goes stiff and then slams on the floor. Saren, you are currently paralyzed. You also take...
Are my characters the only ones that get paralyzed?
Your character's the one in the positions to get paralyzed.
Lucky you.
You take 16 points of acid damage.
I think Nori sees him collapse, and then just kind of her eyes go wide, and she goes, "Bryn, hold your breath and help me." And I'm going to go, like, gesture to help, because Nori knows she's not strong enough to pull him out, and then try to get him out.
There's no smoke left in the air. It all got absorbed in by Saren. Which it does also nullify your 26 investigation, by the way.
Is the chest open still?
The chest is open, yes. And one of the items that Saren had in his hand had fallen back into the chest. But you guys drag Saren out, and he's just there, stiff as a board, eyes wide open, barely breathing.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to him and cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay, you cast Lesser Restoration, you feel the magic go out, pour into him, and nothing happened.
Kaporan, like, kind of confused on why Saren felt paralyzed, and he's gonna look over at the chest. Belladonna's cleaning out the side room.
Okay.
Bryn's gonna go with Kaporan.
You just see a chest full of items, um, without really investigating too much more or getting into it. Looks like something leathery on top. That's about it.
It sounds like that would pretty ride correctly. Kaporn's not too interested in what's inside. He's just kind of like, what the hell happened? He'll probably reach inside, just pull out the first thing he grabs.
Bryn's gonna like swat your hand before you freaking do that.
There's no room for you to swat his hand.
No. Okay. I'll just like bat him
Kaporn, con save.
on it. Okay.
Sorry, this is what he would do.
With that, Kaporn, as you lift this, it ends up being a leather-bound book on top. You see this green smoke kind of pour out from underneath it and come up to you. You catch your breath and hold it and kind of like peek an eye out to see what happens. The smoke kind of reaches up to you, it kind of encompasses your face, and then retracts back into the chest.
Interesting. No acid damage, hopefully.
Nope.
Kaporn now realizes what happened, and he's just like, okay, definitely not reaching back in there, but now is going to investigate the leather-bound book he just pulled out.
It's looks like some sort of book, and written in a language you don't understand.
Oh, fun. He's just going to throw the book in his bag for now, and it's like, okay, well, we'll come back to that in a little bit. He'll call out to Bryn and Nori, saying, like, I think this chest has a weird spell on it or something. We should definitely get it out of this cave before we do any more scrounging around of it.
You're gonna want to be very careful because the spell that should have helped Saren isn't working.
Kaporn's gonna call over to Belladonna, or not even call over Belladonna, he's just gonna snap his fingers and have her poof behind the chest.
Okay.
And, Belladonna, can you close the chest, please? And just have her close the lid.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check for Belladonna.
Damn it, okay.
How strong is she?
Saren was barely able to open it.
I kind of assume I see what I think I see on the map now.
Yep.
I will start wedging my way back through back to the group.
Acrobatics. Yeah, Belladonna cannot close it. But Rachel, you get through without a problem.
As you meet Belladonna behind the chest. Okay. We're just gonna have, I'm gonna just pop Belladonna again, just so she's out of the way, seeing Rachel coming back through. Peek in and just kind of like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this where it is. Call out to Rachel, warning him about not to touch anything, and retreat back.
Like that never stopped him.
Don't poke it!
Why?
Saren's on the ground paralyzed.
And my magic's not working.
I'm scared that he's still gonna poke it.
He's definitely standing there next to Belladonna, just sort of stroking his fake beard. And
I'm gonna give this bird a goatee at one point.
he's just like, yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
I'm just gonna have Belladonna be the guardian of the chest now, and she's just be like, no one touch this thing.
With her
Oh
whole
wait,
one
it's,
hit
the
point.
chest is still open, right?
Yeah.
Is it smart for me to stand away and then mage hand from a distance? But you guys are all standing right next to it.
Mage hand didn't work last time.
Well, that was to open the chest.
Correct.
It's already open.
I guess I just don't know what you want to do with the mage hand.
She wants to take stuff out.
Gotcha. I will, I guess, move around and start heading over to where the rest of the group is.
And then as soon as people are away from the chest, I think I'm going to mage hand and try to grab something out of it.
All right, that would be investigation with disadvantage,
I can work with that.
and the DC gets increased because you're not seeing what you're doing.
Can I sort of take a look at Saren and ascertain what's happened to him at all, or not?
You can poke him.
I will poke him.
He does not move. As far as you, Nori, the only thing that you're able to grab with your mage hand, it kind of dips in there and is having a hard time. You hear things rustle around as you're trying to grab it, but the mage hand kind of scoops up and brings over to you a ruby worth 200 gold.
Sick. Okay. So I'm going to let the mage hand keep holding it because that lasts for... How long does it last?
As that happens, following the ruby that has been taken out from it, the green smoke travels almost
Keep it
sentient,
away from me.
and it maneuvers around the ruby. You see it fill in the mage hand. The mage hand flickers and dissipates. You see the smoke kind of shake in air, and then it jumps to you. Give me a con save.
Fun.
It's always great to get out the people that can do the healing.
Nat 20.
But luckily, the smoke, as it's on its way to you, kind of peters out and then gets sucked back into the chest.
And I have this ruby worth a bunch of money.
Yep.
Okay, so I have
Luckily,
this
it
ruby.
fell on Saren, so it didn't crack or break or chip.
That's much better. I think I'm gonna collect the ruby and put it in a little pouch, and then make a medicine check on Saren.
All right.
It's only a 13.
Looks pretty paralyzed to you. What are you up to, Bran?
Caporn's gonna.
She's gonna go look at it. She's not gonna touch anything inside of it though. She's just peering in.
Okay. Looks like there's stuff inside.
Nothing that's like noticeable of anything that she would know of.
There's some glittering of coin in there.
We're gonna close it. Or try to, at least.
Okay, give me athletics check. What's Kaporin doing?
Asking Richaw if he found anything on the other side. Richaw, did you find anything on the other side?
He's still stroking his beard.
He's kind of looking over at the chest, and yeah, he's still doing that, and sort of breaks out of his stupor of like deep concentration, and just nods his head.
All right.
Did Bryn close the treasure chest or not?
Nope. That lid just will not budge for you, Bran.
So much good being so freaking strong. It's fine.
Bryn, I want to try something. May I get in there?
Her child's gonna approach first. And he's just sort of gonna look at the chest, and seeing that the smoke's not acting normal, he's just gonna go, "Hello," and wave at it.
You say hello and wave at the chest. Nothing happens.
He will pull out the left leather shoe and hold it out and be like, "Wonderful treasure."
Nothing happens.
It just would be like looking at him like, "Companion," but and at that point, I would imagine Caparin's walking up by him.
Yep.
Richard, I don't think you can make friends with the chest.
It's nice to have a traveling buddy.
But not a noxious chest that's been trying to knock all of us out.
I mean, it's at least an option.
You can give me another con save, Saren.
Ooh. Yes.
That was a nice roll.
I'm guessing that's wow. That's that feels great.
Fortunately, your muscles still betray you. Once you're afflicted, the DC is much higher. Literally one more.
I just suffer for the rest of eternity.
So is he conscious, or is he just kind of is he just gone?
I think it's basically like a permanent stun until I throw it off or it wears off.
Or other things. His eyes are open. And he's breathing. Other than that, with the medicine check you made, you can't tell too much else that's different from him. You get the sense that he is conscious.
Alright, so you're conscious. I don't know very much else. I've never encountered gas like this before. I have a feeling that that chest is very evil. Or if not evil, bad.
How much time has passed?
A minute.
No, like since we got on the island.
Oh, since you got on the island? Oh, only about like 20 minutes or so? 25 minutes?
Nori, do you have anything to detect magic on you by chance?
Let me see. I do! Alright, I guess I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on this chest. It's got a range of 30 feet, so I'm gonna chill back here.
Okay. You detect magic, and you see all your friends that are magical. They light up. And yes, there is a portion of the chest that is magical.
What type of magic? What type of magic?
Yep, I'm looking it up right now.
I didn't know if my thing went through, so I was just checking.
Necromancy.
Well, the box is, it is magic. You were right, and it's necromancy.
It's not the chest itself, but something inside.
Ooh, even better.
How long will you be able to see which item it is? Could you take a look inside and locate it?
It lasts for 10 minutes, and it's a 30-foot sphere. So, within 30 feet of me, so yeah, I guess I could look inside.
Okay. I will stand on the back side of the chest. If you could point it out for me, please.
I'll go over here and look inside the chest with my magic eyes.
You can't see which item it is. It seems to be the magic emanating coming from underneath somewhere.
Oh, so it's coming. Well, the magic is coming from beneath the chest and not within it. So
Well,
that's
beneath the contents. Like,
beneath the content.
yes, something probably on the bottom.
So, and there's like gold and stuff in there, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of gold and silver on top that's obscuring view of anything else.
Touching the chest itself has not caused any problems. It's just when you try to remove something.
So far, seemingly, yes.
Caporn is going to take his quarterstaff and kind of like stir through the chest.
Make a
Charles
con
just gonna-
saving throw for me, please.
Okay.
Kaporin, you just survived again.
Caporn is lucky with Constitution.
The smoke wraps around your staff as you poked it in there, and just before it reaches up to you, kind of let go of it and let it fall to the floor. The smoke kind of reaches out beyond it on the floor, finding nothing, and then retreats back into the chest.
Caporn's playing with death at this point.
Yeah, maybe we don't mess with the box. So we have this gem. Did Sauron manage it to pull anything out?
I think he said it fell back into the box.
No, you had a book, but I wouldn't know that was there.
Right, sorry. I don't believe Saren pulled anything out. Looks around, doesn't notice anything. I don't think.
Charles is just gonna sort of peer in to the box and go, "Feel like a little game of hide and seek?"
I'd like to ask real quick. Even though I'm paralyzed, am I able to hear everything that they're saying?
Yeah.
I did forget about this, but I have a book from this chest. The green smoke kind of took me back at first, but hands it over to Nori.
Another con save, Saren.
Nope.
Nope.
Do you recognize this language, Nori, by chance?
Can I take a look at it?
Yeah.
Recognize the language?
Nope.
Ugh, I feel like I'm going through a lot of spells. I got my warlock slot. Yeah, I guess I cast comprehending languages on myself.
All right. You cast comprehend languages and look down at it, and still don't understand it. It kind of shifts between different languages that you know, but it all seems to be in some sort of code.
Ooh. So, I can't read the book, but I do know it's written in code, which is a lot harder to understand.
Rachel sort of like perks up at that. Sort of gestures to hand him the book.
I hand him the book.
Can I understand it with thieves' can?
Yes, you can. Reading it, the amount of information that you get, I will send to you through a DM.
It's gonna be wonderful because I can't tell anybody.
Yep.
Richard, do you understand this? Knowing that he can't tell us exactly what it says, but
He'll just nod.
I think Nori realizing that Rachad being able to read the book is great, but we won't be able to read the book because it's Rachad and he can't tell us.
Caporn's just gonna
You
sigh.
guys are gonna see a great pantomime charade session later, I'm sure.
We'll just sit down just over dinner and you'll just mime whatever it is and we have to figure it out.
Well, take that book over. I will be checking out the back of the cave. You said you found something, so I'll be looking over here.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Thank you. Kind of jerk his head at him, like, what?
And while they're doing that, can Bryn move around these bushes over here? Since apparently stuff is hidden underneath them. And she has to watch the paralyzed one, she feels.
Checking out all the bushes and shrubbery down here, kicking it away, moving it outside. You don't find anything new or interesting along the floor here.
Do I have to roll to slide through the cavern?
Oh, you're going in the way that Rachaw went?
Yes, please.
Yes, athletics. It is another
terrible
tight
at
squeeze. And Kaporin's stuck.
Help!
Cha will walk over and sort of facepalm again. Like, you know. Oh, never mind.
Goparin, what did you do? You're like 6 feet tall. There's no way you could ever fit through there. Why would you think that?
Belladonna makes it through the other side. It's just like, what the hell, Caporin?
I will yank Kaporin out.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
This is gonna go wonderfully. It's not a 0, thank God.
But it's not enough to unwedge this large member of your party.
Who you calling large? I'm kidding.
And in charge, okay?
Thank you.
I'd also like to try to help get him out.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
15.
Between you and Rachaw together, trying to wedge Kaporin out. Kaporin, you do suffer 3 points of, I guess it would be slashing damage, but scraping damage. And your pants are now torn.
It's not like anyone saw Caporin without his pants before.
They're still on, just like where your left pocket was. Pretty much that entire like upper thigh is now exposed.
Got it.
Racha will cast minor illusion to make it look like it's not actually there.
And every time he moves slightly, you have to reposition it.
So whenever we stop moving, we'll do it real quickly.
It's just like one of those screens that you put up when you, like the nudes. It's like you can't see skin.
But with Belladonna on the other side, are you trying to go back through again? She
I'm
does see the opening to the outside.
Good. I was gonna say, I'm assuming, but I would hope Belladonna tells me that there's an opening on the backside, and Caporin would nod. It's like, oh, well, fuck, and go through the cave and try to attempt to go through the backside.
Okay.
That's what Caporin said.
Yep.
What's her timing like?
Right now, I need Saren to make one more con save for me. And you're at about half an hour since you've been on this island.
Half an hour and he's still paralyzed?
Well, he's
No,
only been
we don't-
paralyzed for like the last 5 minutes.
And remains paralyzed.
Yep. There's no need for any more con saving throws from you, by the way.
don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
He's not taking damage, though, right?
Yeah, no damage.
Well, this is D&D. You don't have to take damage to just die.
I know, but it just, doesn't look like he's getting any worse, at least.
Dexterity saving throw, Kaporan.
Damn.
We're dropping like flies.
And nobody went out with him.
As you go past one of these large bushes, you kind of like are skirting the edge of being in the water and whatnot, and as you do so, this large, what you thought was a bush at one point, ends up being some sort of plant. The tree arm kind of whips out and almost slaps the side of you as you narrowly dodge it, and it kind of retracts back into its position amongst the foliage. This large, almost whip-looking type of plant that sensed your presence as it walked by and tried attacking you.
Freaking nature. I feel like Nori's ears are gonna be ringing at that. Kaporan's just gonna well,
Continue on your way.
dodging.
Anybody else doing anything inside?
I think I'm gonna try to bring Saren out of the cave.
Just sling him over your shoulder. Yeah, I think I'll go outside the cave as well and go try to follow after Kaporan.
Brain, go ahead and give me an athletics check. You haven't been doing too hot with strength things today.
Hopefully this is better.
There you go.
That's better.
You damn near throw Saren up against the roof of this place, lifting him up, expecting him to be heavier. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, fine. And you walk him outside.
He is an elf.
I would assume she's used to throwing elves over her shoulder, or at least half elves.
She's getting more accustomed to it.
As Rachel goes around the chest, and it's still open, isn't it?
Yep.
And trying to close it didn't actually try and trigger the thing?
Nope.
But he will try and close it just once with his weak little arms.
Athletics check. As you peer into the gold and silver and copper that ladens the top of the chest.
He will, as he's trying to close it, he's gonna go, "Goodbye, little bird. I love you."
You also see some glass vials in there of something. And you close it.
And then he will make his way out with everybody else and around the island to the other door. Sort of like showing everybody else the other door.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Kaporan didn't say anything, he just kind of walked out.
Alright, so I think we're gonna go look for Kaporan.
Kaporan, you
We're just-
do find a trapdoor on the floor that has a very large, hefty, industrial-sized lock on it.
So we're just leaving Saren here alone on an
You still have him on your back.
unknown island.
Yeah, I thought you.
Oh, I'm
you
carrying.
were still-
You're bringing him along for the journey.
Oh, sure, why not? I would feel bad leaving him alone. So
And Nori's doing mental gymnastics, trying to figure out what spell would help him because she's like, oh, this spell that's supposed to work for paralysis isn't working.
You guys, as you start walking across the beach here, you see another small rowboat in the water with some of the crew from the Tiebreaker on it. They've kind of positioned themselves halfway between the island and the boat. And they go, "Oh, hey, how are you? Is everything okay?"
Yeah, kind of.
can they hear us or not? Like,
Yeah,
how we have to scream?
they're like 200-ish feet into the water.
Racha will cast his minor illusion to make a loud screaming voice of himself, going, "Wonderful!"
All right. Just give you a thumbs up.
Warren's gonna try to bash the lock with his quarterstaff.
Go ahead and roll an attack.
Racha would be the one going first, so he's just sort of leading you guys over there.
Warren doesn't know you guys are coming, so he's just attempting to keep whacking away at the lock or bash the door down, bash the door in.
I need dex saving throws from Racha and Nori.
I get advantage on these because it's plants, right?
Seemingly.
So if it's plants, I get advantage.
Yes. Kaporin, that does not do anything to the lock. But your quarterstaff breaks. Or cracks, I should say.
Yeah, it's a quarterstaff. It's not like I use it very often.
Alright, so both Racha and Nori. You guys both take... ...14 points of piercing damage. As this long vine-like whip crack comes out and snaps against the back of you, Racha, and then slams itself against the side of Nori. I need you both to make con saving throws.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Racha, you immediately incur a point of exhaustion. As the venom from the vine that hits you drips from the edge of it as it retracts from you. You feel like your energy just gets sapped from you, almost like you're getting smacked in the side of the face with a migraine that just saps all your strength.
Do I notice this?
I mean, you saw him get hit just as you got hit. You don't feel any effect.
No, but I see him, like, because I've seen that the land around here isn't overly fond of us invading it, and do I see him, can I realize that, like, oh, he's suffering negative effects from this?
Probably.
Bryn, why don't you stay back there? There's a weird vine here.
It starts to recoil back into its normal position, getting ready to strike again.
I thought I had passed it, or it was just on them, and then I passed.
You haven't gotten there yet.
Them or something. Gotcha.
It's this big
Gotcha.
green.
But since no one moved, it reaches out and strikes again.
Wow, alright.
Dex saving throws, guys.
I'm guessing I'm still paralyzed.
Oh yeah.
19?
Alright, this time you, seeing it retract up into itself and then get ready for another strike, you kind of jump out of the way at the last second.
So I can't seem to find the rule. Is it disadvantage now, or is it only checks that are?
I think it's only checks.
If you go to conditions and you hit exhaustion, you can see what it happens.
Disadvantage on ability checks, yeah. But not saving throws.
Gotcha.
and you nimbly dodge underneath it as it tries to hit you this time.
I will back up and go piss off.
It starts to recoil back into its position. What was it, Kaporn?
What's the door made out of?
A little bit of wood, but mainly iron. Or some sort of metal.
The Cha will wander his way back around and then just sort of yell through the little crack. It's going to take some time, obviously, but he will yell through the little crack without actually getting himself stuck in there. And say to Kaporan, "Everything okay over there?" Mimicking the guys that just yelled at us.
So you're going back the way you came, all the way through the cave?
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's quite all right. Just like this door here. I'm trying to get it open.
Where are you guys, Nori and Bryn?
Go ahead.
I backed up.
Yeah, but are you just staying there?
You would have watched Cha just walk off.
There's a secondary entrance, evidently. What? Do you want to go through the middle of the cave again, or do you want to go around the other side? Because I have a feeling there might be other vines there.
Well, I don't want to leave Kaporan alone. I worry about him a little bit.
Yeah.
As he breaks all of his items trying to open this door.
Does force? I don't know how force works. Does that work again on objects? Does that create damage?
It could.
I guess I'm gonna go back this way.
Kind of like laying on the floor, aiming at the lock.
Yeah. I mean, it's a stationary target, so it's pretty easy to hit.
Knowing Kaporan, he might fuck it up.
This is true.
Bryn's gonna go down to where Nori is, drop Saren off, and then go back for freaking Kaporan.
Yep. Wait, will you be even able to fit through? Oh dear.
I would feel better at least having eyes on him, even if I can't fit through. Hopefully, I'll be able to see him.
All right. I guess.
I'm the back the way we came up towards the plant.
Hearing the blast go off, go, "Why?"
Dex save, Bryn. It whips and you dodge it nimbly, and it starts to retract back into its spot.
We continue forward.
Alright.
Her motherly instincts are kicking in, and that's how she's getting through this.
Oh, it's her. I need to save the dum-dum.
Kaporan, the amount of damage that you did seems to have chipped some of the rusted paint.
Kaporan's just like cursing out at the door. It's like, God, dang door. As Bryn shows up, he's like, "What the?" And turns around.
What are you trying to do?
There's this door here, and I can't get the lock off. I broke. It holds up his quarterstaff. I broke my quarterstaff attempting to open it.
She has no words for that. Can we investigate the door or something?
Yeah, give me an investigation.
Because I'm so great at that.
You've been doing better at that than you have with any of the strength stuff, so.
That is true.
Looking at it, it's a solidly built, metallic, uh, and wood here and there trapdoor with a giant metal lock on top of it, with a slight chipped portion where Kaporin seems to have done damage to it.
Do you think you can get it open, Bryn?
Not by unlocking it.
I think you know what I mean. As he holds out his staff, and he's like, "Can you bust it open?"
Yeah, his staff is just made out of wood, right?
Yep.
Racha will throw his crowbar through the crack.
I'll go get that, not letting Kaporin touch it.
Kaporin's like, "That's a great idea," and pulls out his own.
When do you have
You have a crowbar and you were using your staff?
Reasons?
Why do you have to?
Here, I don't have crowbar, but have another torch. Go ahead and give me an athletics check if you're trying to use the crowbar.
Let's hope it's like the last one.
Sliding the crowbar into the between the lock and the door, trying your damnedest to get it to snap. This is a hardy lock. You make no headway whatsoever, not even bending anything.
I think Nori is outside here, kind of looking at Saren's sad body, and just she wants to go in and help, but she also doesn't want to leave him on the beach.
You don't want to pull a Bryn? Okay.
Him with Nori.
Who was like literally on her way walking in a different direction until she turned around and saw he was just lying there. She's like, oh, I guess I'll stay here.
It's fine.
Because I fully have a spell to get this thing open.
Kaporin just tries to be a Bryn, and it still fails. At this point, he calls out, "Racha! Assistance required!"
If you want to get through, it's acrobatics.
Just feels so tired. It's like, piss off. It's time's up.
Can Bryn try one more time with the crowbar or no?
Yeah. So you put in the crowbar into a slightly different position and really try to lean into it, and nothing bends. If anything, the crowbar actually bends from the amount of exertion you put across it. But the lock, the door, and the everything connected to it does not.
Not quite sure I'm gonna be able to open this, Kaporin.
I figured. Kind of like sad and depressed looking face. It's just like, I just want to figure out what was inside it.
Well, some mysteries aren't meant to be known.
Both of you give me a perception check.
If there's a key on the ground, I swear.
Bryn, from the amount of banging and such against this that you hear, you do get a sense that there is a lot of empty space on the other side of the door.
That's interesting. Not quite sure what to do with that. Not entirely sure if anything's down there, or I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's full of something.
Well, I guess if we can't. But it's behind the chest, though. I feel like something else should be inside it. Born's just like contemplating on leaving it, or if he should keep on trying, or if he should just put all he got into a spell to try to blast it open.
Our child listening to this will just sort of call out and be like, "Find the pirates' hideout," in the Ixian guy's voice.
It's so old, though. I don't know if this would be their hideout.
You may be right. I guess we should just go back. I mean, if anything, let's grab the chest and bring it back to the ship. Maybe we can figure out something there with that.
Why?
You realize that's the reason Saren is paralyzed, right?
Yes, but then again, the chest also has other things in it, and I want. Caporn's greedy is. Caporn's like, or I would guess he wouldn't say it's greedy, but Caporn just wants to know what else is in the chest, and he's interested about this item that's been cursed Saren, or hurt him.
Can I try to cast a spell magic on Saren?
Ooh, this should be fun.
Saren becomes no longer magically capable.
Oh dear. Can I do a medicine check beforehand? Because I feel like me.
You've already done a medicine check.
What?
Said you've already done a medicine check on Saren.
Investigation.
I'll give you Arcana.
Equally bad.
You get a sense that whatever this is, spell magic without knowing exactly where to aim it or what to do with it's probably not going to work.
Right, so I will not cast the spell.
But with that Arcana score, you would get the sense of the few times your restorations haven't worked, you're trying to put things together, what Tiva has taught you. You get a sense, and also seeing the necromantic magic, she's warned you about necromantic magic and the curses that come with it.
He's cursed, and I can't help with that. So do I have any idea how long this curse would last, or is it just kind of like, oh, he's cursed and I don't know what to do?
Pretty much the second.
Joy! So I think I'm sitting by poor Saren and I'm just being like, I'm so sorry, I don't have the spell to help you. Oh wait, can I talk to him in my head?
You can certainly try.
Saren, if you can speak, you can speak through my head. Try it. If you can speak, do.
You can.
Has anyone ever spoken into my head before?
During your training, yeah.
Hello, Nari. I've been able to hear you, so I'm well aware I'm stuck at the current moment.
All right. Well, let's hope someone has removed curse when we get back to the ship.
Warren, kind of annoyed with this door. He's gonna shoot another Eldritch Blast at it just out of spite.
Okay.
2 bolts. So let's.
It doesn't do anything.
Ooh.
Just gonna
Oh,
save you the rolls.
Out of spite.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna be right back.
This is great.
Yep.
I want this door open so badly.
I do too, but I'm not gonna leave Saren, especially if I've just realized he's fucking cursed.
Alright, we're back. So yes, the Eldritch Blasts again chip off some of the old rusted paint on top, but no real difference.
After he has his little outburst, Bryn's just gonna look at him. Are you done now? Can we go back?
Sigh. Sure. Walks up.
Are you gonna go through the little tunnel thing or out and around the way I came?
I've been stuck once. I'd rather go around. How deep is the water in that in the lighted area?
In the lighted area, just ping it. I mean, right around the coast, it's shallow, and you can go out for about 5 to 10 feet and still it only go about waist high. But past that, you're starting to go into the ocean.
Kaporan just remembers the tree that attacked him, so he kind of wants to stay as far away as possible.
Okay, easy enough to do.
I guess I didn't tell Bryn what I was doing, so I hope she realized that.
Oh, she saw you, yeah.
Help me avoid it, but she gets attacked by it.
Well, did you guys find anything?
It seemed like there's a trap door. There's a trap door back there, and it seems to lead to a room, but we had no luck in opening it.
Well, she kind of looks down at Saren. Well, I know what's wrong with Saren. He's cursed, and I don't have a spell that can deal with that.
Sadly, neither do I. I'm not prepared for these kind of situations.
I could potentially open the door, though.
I don't know. Saren's already paralyzed. I don't think Wachaw's doing quite well either.
That was my thought exactly. I suggest we go back and find a cleric or something to get Saren back to normal, because this
Which
This
every
ain't
ship
great,
does
yep.
have.
What?
Which every ship usually does have.
Thank you.
Yes, because Nori knows a bunch about ships.
Well, you've been a part of the crew for a while.
That's true. I'm probably thinking more of like when we get back to land, because we found a cleric before.
There's one on the tiebreaker.
Can we bring the chest back at least? I want to find or
No.
to try to empty it out.
Do you see what's happened here? We're not going to bring the chest. As cool it would be to see what's inside and satisfy the curiosity that I know is plaguing you, we gotta think about our physical well-being before our pockets.
Kaporan pulls out his pockets, but mine are empty, and one is slashed.
Yeah, you pull out one pocket, as the other one's just your thigh.
It'll be okay, Kaporin. I think we can do without a cursed box and its the items inside it.
We have the book that we can read, and we have this. I pull the ruby out of my pocket. This ruby.
But if we're able to find a cleric, don't you think they'll be able to clear the box that we could at least, or the chest that we could at least open it and dig it through it safely?
And we don't know what type of thing, because whatever left this chest here certainly didn't want anyone to go through it. They left 2 locks and a weird cursed necromancy thing inside. I highly doubt that bringing it on a ship would do us any good.
All right.
Especially onto a ship where the captain could have charged us a hell of a lot more for killing his town's protection, but didn't.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see what's inside, my spell goes 1,000 feet in every direction. Whatever's in there isn't what I'm looking for. If you guys would like to check, you may, but I think we should get Saren back to the ship.
Cha is just sort of already sitting on the boat, the little dinghy that we've been on, and is sort of flipping pages through the book that they found.
Brandon, could you carry him?
Do I have to make another check for that?
No, now you are decently confident in your strength-based skills to carry the paralyzed Saren.
Wonderful.
I think she was having troubles because she's just too big for the cave, and doing any feats of strength would be very claustrophobic.
Sure, let's go with that.
It's the good old pat to the ego we need.
Kaporin, like a pouting child, will go off on his own and just, after loading Theron up anyway onto the boat, would fly off towards the ship.
You're just gonna fly off.
Kaporin is pouting. Or would you like it motorboated and Kaporin's pushing the boat?
I don't think you're strong enough to do that.
It's like Peter Pan.
So you fly back to the boat. As you fly past the other rowboat that's in the water with a couple of the crew. They're just like, hey, how's it go? Okay. Guess they're done. And they start paddling back to the ship.
Before Kaporin lands on the ship, he's gonna look for the captain and kind of fill him in on what they found and what's going on. And ask
Okay.
if
Well, you see the captain kind of leaning up near the wheel, but against the side of the ship, currently de-skinning an apple. Ah, are you all having a good time on the island?
Sadly not, Captain. One of our members seemed to have been cursed, from what our druid was able to tell. Or Nori. I guess he would know our names by now.
Oh, were you able to take care of it? If not, we have Jathiel. And he nods to one of the blue-skinned individuals who kind of raises his hand. We have our cleric who can take care of some of these things.
That would be most appreciated. There was also a chest on the island that was the cause of all this. It seems that there was a item of necromantic origins, as well as a trapdoor locked behind a great, large padlock.
Interesting. Were you guys able to take care of the chest, and was there any other dangerous things on the island?
From what we could tell, no danger. We weren't able to open the trapdoor but it does sound like there's a large hollow room in behind it, and the chest lays closed in the cavern. We did not dare to continue to dig through it before anything else happened.
But you didn't come across any people or animals or anything?
A strange tree or tree-like entity, if that counts towards anything, attempted to whip out at me.
Okay, but that's all?
Yes, that's all we found so far. That's all we found.
Interesting. Alright, well. Is the rest of your group coming back onto the ship?
Yes, they should be here shortly. Just
Alright.
I
Jethiel, prepare to deal out some magic as they come back up on board. Get your brother with the landing party, and they're gonna go onto the island to see if they can do something themselves. Alright, well, I guess we'll just wait for them to return then.
Wonderful, thank you. Would you like me to show you where this chest is?
I'm gonna stay with my ship. I'll let the landing party devise that. My first mate will be going with them, so I trust that they'll find whatever you've left behind.
Warren secretly wants to go back with them to see if they could undo it. Well, all right. Let me know if I can be of any assistance in showing them the way. I will let my party know that there is someone that can help us with Saren's condition.
Well, if you're not coming back onto the ship with your party, you're more than free to join in, since kind of gestures to you floating in the air. You don't need a position on any of the boats going out.
Thank you, Captain. I would be honored to help. I will meet your crew on the island to show them what we have found.
After that, and he goes and starts rounding up portions of the landing party to undock some of the other rowboats and disembark. So everyone has.
Left the island.
All you guys have jumped into the rowboat and heading back towards the ship, right?
I mean, I don't where we wouldn't.
Yeah, I definitely would have put Saren in there and made our way back.
All right then. As you guys traverse in the rowboat back to the ship, you see Kaporin dart out to you all, relay the information that they have someone that can help with Saren's current condition. Dart back to some rowboats you see disembarking off the side of the ship filled with people, and pass them across the water as you guys make your way back onto the ship. Jethiel, the blue-skinned, green-haired, on the smaller side but thin-lithe type of man, comes up, kind of, his eyes glow a certain color after muttering a few words, looks over Saren's body, takes a portion at the base of his neck, and dispels the curse. Saren, you are in full motion of your body once again.
Saren will stand up and compose himself. Has the landing party already left?
Yeah, they're already well onto the water, and about now they'd be getting onto the island. Kaporin, you'd be with them if you are following along.
Yes, thank you.
Jethiel kind of stands up next to you, Saren, and goes, "You're lucky you got us to the time after 24 hours of that curse being on him. That would have been permanent."
Well, I owe you my thanks.
Yeah, that was a mighty curse. I'm not sure what type of magic is strong enough to put something lasting like that on you, but It definitely would have been a pain in the ass to have to deal with constantly.
Maybe they shouldn't mess with the chest, because some weird necromancy stuff is happening, and
Oh, if I'm able to dispel the curse, then I have more than enough confidence in my brother to be wary of such thing and to possibly find out or dispel the origination point of said curse.
correct.
So you all get up on board. He sees a lot of you have taken some damage and is going to dole out a mass healing. It is 12 points of healing to all of you, besides Kaporan.
Thank you.
And with that, the crew kind of goes about back to their normal positions. The skipper making sure that everything's ready for when they are ready to leave. They've the couple crew that were in that boat, kind of doing that halfway distance, are back out on the water, kind of keeping an eye as the two other rowboats have landed on the island. And Kaporan, they kind of the first mate Goliath kind of just gestures in front of him and goes, "After you."
Thank you, sir. Right this way. And Kaporn will guide them up to the first cave.
Okay, you taking him to where?
He'll first show them the chest. In here is the chest that we found that cursed our friend. If we
All
travel the
right,
backside of the
back
island-
up. This time for me, right here. As the blue-skinned brother of Jethiel kind of steps forward and pulls up his sleeves on his arm. You see him kind of maneuver his fingers in the air, and then as he opens his eyes, they're glossed over with blue. And he goes, "Oh, this is quite a spectacle." He kind of opens up the lid with one hand, yes, putting you all to shame, and lets it fall back. Kind of doesn't touch anything, but is like doing a weird kind of perch over the top of the chest, kind of like trying to peer in. And he kind of points to the Goliath first mate, brings him over. "I want you to kick it over." First mate kind of looks at him perplexed. It's all right. Not gonna do nothing to you. Just kick it over." So the Goliath takes a mighty swing and kick to it. You hear the loud crunch and slam of this chest as it gets knocked over, and all the contents start to spill out. The smoke starts to rise out from it, and you see the blue-skinned individual quickly do a few hand gestures and motions, and the smoke kind of darts towards his direction and then just evaporates. "Oh, that took a lot. I wasn't thinking it was going to be that rough. Yeah, that was a mighty strong curse, but it should be good now. We'll see what we've got." The Goliath kind of pushes the chest back onto its side and starts scooping some of the stuff that fell out towards it. One of the things broke with the kick. You see a multitude of different coins spill out from the chest. The Goliath starts scooping it in and starts handing stuff back to some of the other crewmates as they start throwing it into sacks, lining their belts. One of these small vials had broken, and the liquid inside, a silvery with just a hint of red now and again that seems to disappear. One of them had broken, but the other one's still intact. The first mate puts that into a compartment inside of his chest pocket. The Goliath first mate pulls out a large ball of wax. Looks like some sort of sealing wax for envelopes and whatnot, and kind of tosses it back to. Toss it to you, Kaporin. As he does so, a large amount of gold coins can be seen underneath. And with his giant Goliath hands, starts scooping roughly about 700 gold pieces out and starts dumping them back to different portions of the crewmate. Kaporin, you end up getting 27 gold pieces.
Ooh. Mighty fine, right? What is his first mate? Do we know I don't remember the first mate's name.
First mate's name. Quick searches. Kyorod.
That's a rad name.
That's a what?
I said that's a rad name.
Anything else interesting, Kurod?
And he kind of lifts the chest up with one hand. He kind of shakes it. And yeah, it's 27 gold, by the way. He goes, I don't think so. As he holds it upside down, nothing else comes out. He puts it down and starts walking away.
Well, then let me show you the back door and the other, the trap door that we found.
Crazy.
Show him the back door, okay.
Uh-oh.
Are you gonna warn them of the plant?
Yes, I will warn them of the plant and then show them to go around it.
Kyorod passes the dex save and athletics check. And passes the athletics check. You see everyone kind of skirt away from the plants, and Kyorod kind of like looks at it and just steps towards it as it lashes out to him. He catches it in midair and kind of wraps his arm around it, and then takes his other hand and grabs upwards more up this vine, and then just with all of his might rips the thing out from its location, sucked up against this wall, and just hurls the fucking thing into the ocean.
Well, I never.
If I don't gotta get wet, I don't like getting wet.
Corn's just gonna nod. It's like, but you're a sailor. But okay, you do you, bro.
I'm a sailor that stays on my ship.
I guess it would be a good thing if you stayed on the ship. It means nothing's harm came to your way.
It means I don't get wet. And you continue forward, showing them the trap door. The blue-skinned individual who helped with earlier comes up to it, kind of investigates it, flickers his eyes, and goes, "Oh, damn!" and kind of immediately looks away from it. That's a lot of magic. Fuck. Kind of like squinting his eyes and trying to blink as much as possible. You're not getting fucking through that with by a sheer force of will. I'll tell you that.
Could Kapoor attempt to, knowing now that there's magic on it, dispel magic upon it?
He would see you starting to do so. He'd be like, sorry, mate, this is much stronger than a simple spell is going to be taken care of. This is This is some right type of magic. I can't even tell what type of school it is. It's fucking intense. It's old. It's really old. I can't tell what the fuck this is even trying to do. Keep something in, keep something out. It hurts to look at.
What do you suggest? Shall we leave it alone then?
I mean, it's got a lock. The lock has a keyhole. Weird, interesting looking key. By the looks of this, and he kind of points at it, and it looks to be almost kind of looking like a windmill, like the energy generating windmills, but instead of it being like straight blades, they're kind of curved. So it's got 3 of those all centered on a point. I mean, I've never seen a key like that, but I mean, I guess if you got the key, it probably dispels whatever magic this is.
Koporin still has the ball of wax, correct?
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't found the key. Koporin's gonna kind of think it over. It's like, I didn't find anything. I don't know of a key.
Do a
he's
history
like,
check.
Oh gosh.
Just enough. The design from the keyhole does look like a design that was on the chest.
He's gonna kind of put 2 and 2 together. Well, the key might have been in the chest, but all we have is this wax ball and whatever we found. We didn't find a key. But we're gonna go, maybe it's in this wax ball and attempt to like kind of pry or cut the ball open.
Okay, after a few moments of digging into the wax ball with wax, it now being completely destroyed and unusable as any sort of sealing wax anymore, you do see a ring inside.
A ring? Interesting.
Yep.
I would investigate the ring,
With an investigation check.
please.
All right. Looking at the ring, 1 second. The ring itself is a silver band of some sort, some metal. Looks silver, with a green jewel embedded in the front of it. The jewel itself, not quite emerald, but it's got a decent green to it. It has been worked over, and it's in a oval design.
Interesting. Holds up the ring to the blue individual. It's like, all I have is this ring. It seems I found in this ball of wax. Did you, sorry, out of character, but did you say the locks on the other chest were the same?
The design of the lock on the trap door matches a design that was etched into the side of the chest.
Unless the chest holds some other key to opening this door, I'm not too sure how else we would open it.
Kieran speaks up. Well, it was empty, so I don't know. Well, I can tell you right now, none of this. Unless you got the key, I don't think you're getting in. And with that, they kind of like matter-of-factly stop and turn to exit the cave.
besides going back, Kaporan going back and investigating the chest thoroughly, like if there is for some reason there's a, yeah, unless it without investigating the chest more after they've kicked it and whatnot.
Yeah, you can
Kaporan-
investigate it. I mean, they left it there. Still open.
Okay, Kaporan wants to go back and investigate the chest a little bit more.
Roll an investigation. You see the design that's on the front of it, kind of tracing your finger. It wasn't connected to any of the locks on this thing. There's a bunch of little different etchings on the front of this chest, this one being the most prominent. But you can't seem to get too much information off any of the etchings besides that spiral-like design from the lock on the other side. Sucks to roll low. Sorry.
Yeah, I figured. Kaporan will nod and just like, I guess there's no other way to get in. And with the ring in hand, we'll go back to the ship with the rest of the crew.
Okay. So, with the... are you flying again, or are you getting on a boat?
Kaporan will probably just hop on a boat this time.
Okay, well, they're full up, especially with the extra weight, so not only you, but one of the other crew needs to stay behind. So they said that they'll get to the ship and send one of the boats back. So they go off, and the rest of the people on the ship, you guys see the 2 boats return, but 2 individuals staying back. You see that Kaporan isn't with the group that returns back to the ship.
Is the person I'm with cute?
It's a girl.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Thought I would just kill that right away.
Superman fly back with her if it was a guy, but oh well.
But the people from the rowboats get onto the ship, divvy out some free money that they've got from the stuff on here. No one asks them anything. They just send one of the boats back. The rowboat rows out to you, Kaporan, and the female, smaller Goliath, and picks them up, and you guys make your way back to the ship.
Upon returning, I would explain what more information we found and that we probably weren't going to break through that door with any chance. But there was supposedly a key and of a design that Kaporan would best attempt to draw out before seasickness hit him.
You see the first mates jump on a rowboat and start heading back out to the island.
Of course he does.
Does the book seem to have the design he's trying to look at? Or no?
Nope. So, after about 4 or 5 minutes or so, the first mate, Kiorod, comes back with the rowboats and the chest as he drags the chest on top of the ship and brings it over to the captain, who tells him to put it in his quarters.
He comes back with the chest?
Yep.
Kaporan will also show them the ring that he acquired from and explain that it was in this ball of wax that they found, and ask Nori to if it has any magical properties to it.
Oh, so you want me to cast Detect Magic on it?
If you'd be a dear, Nori, please.
I do. I doubt it's going to be so, but I will.
Thank you, madame.
It is magical.
Ooh, what type of magic?
Enchantment.
If you like, I might be able to ascertain some more information about it.
I hand the ring to Saren.
I will ritual cast identify.
It is a ring of life stealing. When you cast a magical spell that has an attack aspect to it, it does an extra. If you get a natural 20, it does an extra 2d10 necrotic damage. And as long as it's not a construct or undead, and you gain that said hit points.
Kaporan would find it very interesting. I'm hoping Saren gives it back to him.
Well, I haven't said any of this yet. Who's around us?
Me
Everybody.
and or everyone.
Charles up in his bed.
Except for Ochoa, of course.
Kaporan's gonna stare at Saren as Saren is staring at the ring. It's like waiting for information. Well, Saren, is there anything interesting about it?
I'm just gonna relay the information to Kaporan.
You're only gonna tell me?
Well, everyone's standing right here. I'm assuming they're all listening, regardless whether I tell them directly or not.
Okay. I just want to see if you're gonna whisper it to me. It was like, it's our little secret.
Now,
Well, Nora's openly said that it's magic, so.
I'm assuming you're not going to hit me with this thing, considering how much you tried that last session. But I'll hand the ring back to Kaporan.
Ring of Necrotic. Okay. Kaporan will put it back in his I want to make sure this right. His pocket that isn't torn.
Yeah, your only pocket.
But only pocket. I feel like Kaporan would do something stupid and lose the ring if he didn't. And save that for later on this evening.
It does require attunement.
10-4.
All right. With that, he asks everyone good to go.
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
with thumbs up from you and thumbs up from the crew, the ship starts to pull away from the island. Shortly after, not but 200-300 feet from the moored location that you guys were at, the island disappears.
And
As you guys continue traveling for the remainder of the day, it's quiet, it's calm. A few hours away from mainland, after the dwarf calls sight on it, a couple Elven Armada ships come out and greet you all. One escorts you back into the harbor, while the other stays and continues on its patrol. Shortly after sundown, you guys finally get into the dock. Ropes are cast and pulled alongside. You guys have made it back to Tinko Tuema. Oh no, Jurieth, sorry. The naval fortress town of the northern Stormdance clanlands.
Yay!
So much for fast travel.
As we were pulling in,
Yes, your thing. So you open the bag, or the wrapped up situation that you have from her. There is a small note in, not to be mean, but chicken scratch. it just says to be quick, be quiet, be safe. And what else did it say? Where is it? Where is it? It says be quick, be quiet, be safe. And from one family to another. And in underneath the note, you see a bag, roughly about a 1.5 wide opening, and you recognize this as the flock's bag of holding.
He just looks like wide-eyed at it and is like, what the fuck?
It's one of the few things the flock traded for as you guys were starting to move across Cydia, trying to find a new place. A merchant sold it to Tat for trade for a few items that they had. So that way it made traveling for the flock a lot easier. You weren't sure what happened to it. You know he who took it with him as you guys separated, since you had already pretty much found a place for your half of the flock to stay. But you now see that he who must have left it to Haha, and now that the flock is all back together again and not really moving anytime soon, feels that it was better for you to have it.
He's just gonna do his little squint and smile and sort of strap it to his back, kind of underneath his backpack sort of deal. And would I even know what's inside it, or no?
It's been months since you've seen it.
That's what I figured. It's like, this thing could have anything in it.
Yeah, I mean, you know that it was mainly used just to transport things, whatever you guys could fit inside of it to help ease the burden of you guys moving across the lands, but you're not sure what might be in it now.
Be like a crap load of bedding.
Just twigs and shit. But you know how a bag of holding works because you were also tasked with holding it during the traveling process. So the person that sold it to Tat showed them how it worked, and then she showed you and Hihu how it worked as well. So it's all meta knowledge about bags of holding that you now know.
Sounds good to me.
I like how Rachar's getting all these magical bags to hold on to.
You guys know nothing.
Nobody's asked me ever about that.
I don't think Nora even knows you have it.
It would ping whenever you cast detect magic within 30 feet of me. But
True. I think she filed that away to ask later.
So with that, you guys have now made your way back into the town of Jeryuth. It's a lively town even after sunset, so it is a nice break to be on worked stone, on comfortable-esque streets, and a lively majority of town, and things to do and see and buy and travel once again. But that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yay, fun!
And now we have to figure out the next step.
Yep.
Oh, Racha, before you leave the ship, Skipper Jonathan Ladash would kind of come running out of his quarters. Be like, excuse me, small bird.
hello.
I know you all were interested in that island and possibly further information about it. Do you... Well, I mean, I'm sure you do, but thinking about it and the overall mystery behind this vanishing island, I've kind of racked my brain and ended up searching through some of my books to possibly find any mention of vanishing islands at least in our waters. And I actually came across one of my books from my childhood that kind of is a more grown-up version of childhood stories. And do you know about Castian?
I assume no, so I shake my head no.
Um, well, Cassian Keelan, or also known as the Ogre, um, he was a captain a long time ago. Um, he was a Fey elf who was sailing during the times of Ultra Datorum, when Kinaris was battling Asmodeus on the water, and during the fight, Asmodeus scarred a portion of Castian's soul to gain power to try and defeat Kinaris. It didn't work, and Kinaris won, but Cassian was mad about what had happened and demanded Kinaris to fix it, but she couldn't. Cassian, being a person of quick to temper, cursed Kinaris verbally, and Kinaris, being a proud god, started to chase Castian. Usually, this wouldn't be an easy thing for Kinaris to catch up to, but she was weakened from the fight, and Castian found that he had gained something from Asmodeus. Some innate strength and magical ability to connect with his ship. He could hear and feel the ship and understand it as if it was alive. They raced too fast for Kinaris to catch up, so with her last shot, she flung a curse towards Kinaris, and when he was in the right location, she bent down and drank from the ocean, lowering the sea level dramatically. This is how we have pretty much the entire coastline of Sitia right now. This left Castian and his ship stranded on top of a small volcano, which, over time, created a new island around it. The curse Kinaris placed upon Castian bound him to his ship, and supposedly there he rests, still grasping the wheel. Now, this story is one that's been told throughout the ages, but in the more adult version, they've said that Kinaris was worried that people would come across this island and try and free Castian from his unending torture. And so she would move this island with the breath of the wind, casting it in different locations in different parts across the water. Now, this always kind of came across as a moving island, or possibly an island that was on the back of some large creature, or on the back of the god herself. But now that we've kind of come across this vanishing island, I wonder if on the wind just means some sort of vanishing. I thought you might find that somewhat interesting, since he procures a key that is in the design that Kaporin told you all. I was able to extract this specifically from the chest that was brought aboard. And he hands the key over to you, Richo. I know you guys are bound to be going out looking for your friends, so I think you guys probably would come across that island once more before I. Even if I did, I'm not sure if trying to piss off a god is in my repertoire.
Racha would just sort of look up, very, almost like he's very confused at what just happened. He's like, huh? That was a lot of information for him to take in very quickly, and he doesn't know anything jack squat about gods. So
He was telling it to you more because it was more of excited of him kind of figuring things out, and then him realizing what the key is linked to, and you're the closest to him as far as your guys' group goes, so he's offloading that responsibility onto you.
Sorry, Corn was an idiot earlier.
So
I'll
now,
give the responsibility onto the one person who can't talk.
And Richard's now holding a key to an imprisoned demigod imprisoned by a god.
All right, chap, have a good one, and slaps you on your back, sending you onto the gangplank.
Have a good one.
Before Kaporan leaves the ship, what happens to his teeth?
His teeth?
His fangs. Excuse me.
Snake fangs.
Oh, you still have them.
I just knew he was hiding them on the ship because they're like taboo kind of thing. So
Yeah, they would
wondering
just
if he gave them
offload
to
it. Yeah, they would just offload it onto the dock and let you deal with it.
cool. Just want to make sure.
We established that those teeth don't have anything magical about them, right?
Yeah, there's no residual magic or anything.
They're just very pretty, white. Yeah.
Do they seem to receive magic well? Like if you were to try and enchant them in some way?
With your extensive knowledge of magic, you would not know. I'm sending you the story, Richaw, that I just told you, so if you want to pick out any lines or whatnot from that, you can use so.
Sounds good to me. It's much better than me trying to write down anything you just said. I guess realizing that he like tried to help me a little bit, I would or assume he tried to help me. I would sort of take the book out in front of him before I had left and just sort of flipped through it to see if I noticed any of those names that he was referring to.
You do see the initials CK.
Ooh, fascinating. Just in front of him looking at the book.
It is on the binding of the book when you open the first page. All right, guys. So, any questions about tonight that I
So
can answer?
many.
That I can answer.
No.
No, thank you.
Not a problem.
The reason why I asked for the teeth thing, and since I'm not sure if it would or not, I would probably, using like my dagger or something, shave off a part of the cracked one into small enough needles to fit into my blowgun. Is the reason why.
Gotcha. With your dagger, you wouldn't be able to make them well enough to be good for fighting, because you would need to cut large chunks of it and then like go to the middle of it to cut out perfectly straight needles. So you might need to take it to someone to get that done.
Makes sense. Just like shitload of needles if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
I have an idea for those things, so we'll find out next time in the next episode.
Dun dun dun. All right, guys. Well, if you do end up having any other questions, feel free to message me and I'll get back to them. If I don't talk to you all before then, though, you guys have a great week, and I'll see you Thursday.
Not yo.
Night,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
Right.